Hey everybody, this is Blue. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope you're staying safe and all that as we go through this pandemic phase of our reality. Well, I had a bad day today, and it is a lot to do with our energies. Today I tried to use mentalism. I was doing presence projection on one of the guys that I take care of. For those of you who do not know, I work in a home with four guys that have mental issues. Um, they call it intellectual deficiencies, Down syndromes, dementia. My dementia guy today did his first ever elopement, which means he walked out of the house without notification, without supervision, and without authorization. I saw him go out the door. Now we have garbage cans out there, so he could have been taking the garbage out. Fine. I always count to 10, and if they're not back, I go after them. Well, I counted to 10. He wasn't back in, so I went to the door. I looked out, and he's walking down the sidewalk. He has left the property. I have to run after him. So after notifying all the people that need to be notified and talking to him, trying to get him back home, he refused and had an emotional outburst, and he continued walking. I had to make sure that my other guys were all right, being left in the house. Told them that they couldn't leave. Then I went after my guy that did the elopement. I decided that I was going to use presence projection. This is sending out energy through your hands, your mind, towards a specific person to get a specific goal accomplished. Okay? For this event, it was just simply go home. So I went to him, I gave him the right act like I am allowed to do. I told him to go home, and I started doing projections by pointing. Always two fingers, so nobody thinks you're flipping them off, But anyway, not allowed to touch him. So I am trying to redirect, because with somebody with dementia, words don't always work. So I am directing, and blocking. So I was really broadcasting out my energies towards him because I was trying to direct him back home. He was 4 blocks away from home, and I have to walk him home. Cannot put him in a vehicle, because if he has an emotional breakdown, he could cause actions that could actually wreck my truck. So I have to walk him home. And he only stalled once. So I think I was doing pretty good. But I was really broadcasting. Due to social distancing and always having to keep an eye on him, I was 6 feet behind him, and my eyes were in the back of his head. And every time I saw his head turn, my hand was like this, because I was pointing at home. Well, according to Raven Gurmasi, you receive energies with this hand, you broadcast with this hand, and I was broadcasting and broadcasting, trying to just get that image, go home. So I was spending a lot of energy out there. Well, I got him home. Like I said, he only did one attempt to stop. Then once I got him home, it was try to redirect him upstairs to his room, because it's the furthest distance from the front door, and it's a place where he'd be safe. And so I'm redirecting him. I'm walking. I says, you need to go upstairs. You need to go upstairs. And I am using my hands to point again, using visualizations to achieve a goal. Well, and I mean, I am focused. I am trying to get through his head and trying to mentally send him a message to somebody with dementia is hard. But I got him upstairs. Well, I knew that he would try to come downstairs, so I kept on projecting out to him, stay in your room, stay in your room, stay in your room. You can watch TV, stay in your room, and all that. While I am making more phone calls, filling out the incident report, doing all that. I never stopped. And so I got everything done. My relief came in. I had to explain to them what was going on. My guy came downstairs because he heard somebody else, and he was trying to get the other person to side with him, and I was projecting even more energy because I had to explain to him to stop and that he is still on my shift and he will do as I say because he broke the rules. Projecting energy all this time. The mistake I made was I never shut it off. We have to, when we're manipulating our energies and all that, is to remember how to turn them on, turn them off, and how to recover. I did not do that. I made a big mistake. I was so wrapped up in his first elopement and trying to keep him up in his room where he'd be safe that I forgot to turn it off up here. So, I got everything done paperwork-wise and all that, and I am just getting drained. I am like worn out. My mind is having a hard time focusing on all the other goals I have to do. I'm taking care of my guys. Everything else, to heck with. I couldn't focus on. And so, I talked to my relief, explained to them situations and all that. I came home and I am just feeling tired. I got home, had a quick breakfast, and I laid down, and I was just getting more and more exhausted. My arms were getting heavy because I was having to broadcast energies with my hands and my arms so much they became worn out, And again, I never turned it off and all that. So hours went by and it's like, I can't get anything done. I have no energy. And I realized what I had forgot to do. So since I was laying in bed, I did some meditations and some hand exercises, because you should be able to put your hands up, fingers out, and, try to draw in energy. There are people says you can move your hands, like with a breathing exercise, you breathe in, breathe out type exercises trying to control energy. I had to create in my mind, a blue sphere of energy around me. It had to be blue. And to shut off the energy, to keep what energy I had to myself. And then I did my hand exercises, breathing in, breathing out. Clear my mind, try to think of a peaceful setting. I was thinking of Springbrook Park, walking on that sometime soon after all this epidemic stuff's over with, to recover my energies. It took a good 20 minutes, but I'm feeling pretty good now. So, we have to learn how to broadcast our energies and when to shut them off and how to recover. This is the first time that I've ever had to do this, and thus in an emergency, I didn't do too good. Like I said, after I got the initial situation resolved, I was still being depleted because I forgot to turn it off. We need to practice on this constantly, okay? We do not get better unless we use and practice, okay? So I would love to hear your comments on my situation. I know I screwed up on the broadcasting energy and not shutting it off, but how many of you have had an instance like this where you forgot to turn off the energy, your energies, and you actually kind of screwed yourself up because you were so drained at the end of the day? So everybody, please take care. Be at peace.